be seeing, or
so many Zetters.
the eternal goal of Lucius trying to find the most optimal Rano for him.
Yeah.
Because we've seen success with Durai. We've seen success with Y. We're actually going to be seeing him a little bit later. Durai already in top 16.
Yep.
Lucius is the last Rano, I feel like, that's looking to turn that corner.
Absolutely. And I mean, making it this far in Heatwave, right?
Oh, for sure.
With their own independence play style, not playing the copycat Rano at all. And it's going to take the true test to see if that identity is enough against a player like HKP. Because HKP is one of those Zetters, right? Maybe he isn't as practiced as he's been usually, right?
Right.
Has taken a little bit of a step away. But you watch him play, and you don't lose the rival tech. You don't lose that raw skill and reaction speed that we see from a player like HKP. He's breakneck when he wants to be, but he reels back that Zetter just enough to close out your stock a little bit earlier than you were expecting.
What I was always impressed with HKP when watching him play doubles, actually, was his awareness of the game state. And like that situational awareness and just seeing the game slow down in your head, you can apply that and you can pick that up. You can apply that to anything and you can pick that up and put it down whenever you need. So I want to see Lucius actually try to slow the game down a little bit. You know HKP can keep up with you, so why not try to control the game a little bit with things like needles and a lot of different various movement, which makes sense then why we're on Jules Day.
Yeah, and that's something that I feel like you're actually expecting to see from a player like Lucius, right? We've seen in the past, Lucius is more than comfortable with those needles to play this slow, methodical game, to get these long edge guards, to take however long he needs to, right, to find these stocks. That being said, it's a different story when you're doing that against a character that can be so in your face, have such a punishing combo game. Maybe a bit of a controller disconnect, maybe a bit of a flub, but
not again, please. We've seen
Yeah.
this multiple times with Lucius across the stream setup, man.
And that's going to be really important for this first stock. I mean, does get the first stock back, but unfortunately down 2 right now off of that.
Yeah, that's really, really tough SD, and like already in a matchup where like engaging recklessly against Zetter is not only not great because of the damage output, but those consistent disjoints that Zetter has can just really prove fits for Rano, and now you have to approach the guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the scariest thing about the Zetterburn combo game when playing against like a slow play style or like the more methodical play style is that it means that you're so much more paranoid after each decision, right? Because if you're gonna get a flub, if you're gonna make a mistake, HKP is just gonna take your stock, and a single parry, right, at 80%, that's a stock. There's only so many mistakes you can get.
Yeah, you're on very thin ice already, and like, easy drops like that can just
right away back.
We're not worrying about it. Like,
yeah.
But that's a good sign of a good headspace for Lucius.
Yeah, especially because there was a controller disconnect. Doesn't hesitate even. Knows that this stage could be his. But even still, HKP look comfortable here.
Yeah, limiting the unforced errors is going to be huge here for Lucius. And if you're HKP, honestly, you've been playing so well just in the small game, right? Like, all right, finding hits, finding small punishes, converting them into big stuff when you know it's there, and not trying to get too complicated.
What a fast fair off that waveland. That definitely caught both of us off guard, and definitely HKP, because that DI was not ready for it.
Not at all. He was drifting out, trying to play the edge cancel maybe, or just like keep himself safe, but yeah, this frog finds a way.
And I mean, that is the difference, right? When you go for this more patient with punishy play, when you get those breakneck combos out of nowhere, sometimes you're just not ready for it. You're not used to that speed. You're not ready for that breakneck aggression when it matters. And that's going to be an early stock, and taking it to the bank right now with this edge guard too.
I think it's important to kind of classify, like, despite Rano's ability to like push the damage and have these long like combos and edge guards that turn into so much advantage, it's that game state is only more informed by having a lead here, because now Lucius can start to anticipate directions that that HKP has to go with, and very seldom of them are going to be in the dash back variety. Hence why another solid finish coming there for Lucius, knowing that he's got to find a way back on stage here, and he's really, really pushing this game into his favor yet more.
Yeah, and I mean, Lucius is playing right in front of HKP, but still waiting for HKP to press moves, right? He's not running away full stage and giving the Zetterburn control. He's forcing HKP to whiff on the edge and then getting these edge guards off of it that have been so powerful. But right now, is getting a huge combo put on him. And this has almost equalized the game. If he can just find a Fire Strong right here, we could see one stock apiece. But here's the edge guard.
That air dodge out of the LP was so nice, but we're back here.
Great tongue to catch the wall jump. All the patience, but great drift from HKP. Still working on closing out the second stock, but an amazing survival DI in that bubble.
That stock.
Yeah,
that is
so important. That could have been the game right there. Meanwhile, HKP is still forcing everything out of Lucius in a game that he was up 3 stocks just moments ago.
Not confident in the down strong at that spacing. It's a tough one to go with at the end, especially
Ray parry.
Again, just going for the simple aerial, keeping things stable. You're pushing the Zetter off stage, limiting the amount of times he can do this. Has to up beat back. Was just too low to up beat back, but I mean, I get it, right? Like, if I up B, I die, so I might as well try and hit this super, super tight spacing, and unfortunately you just miss it. But that's like a willingness, right? Like, I'm loving the fact that HKP is willing to try and make those, like, very small micro adjustments, and sometimes they don't work out in your favor, but you got to start making plays like that if you're going to make these comebacks. Meanwhile, we don't even have to worry about the comebacks if you start off this game to a 60-20 deficit, yet we're pushing it for Lucius.
I love this pick, actually, from HKP. Look at how many of his last stocks were taken either as parry punishes, yes, but many of them were as platform tech chase reads or platform combo extensions, right, onto that one single dual trail platform. Give him 4 more of those in small blast zones, and you're going to see this frog die really early.
Which makes sense then why Lucius is just... He is whipping around the side platform.
Yes.
There is no willingness to try and play Zetterburn's game like on his turns. Like, I'm creating my own turns, coming down at 45, 30-degree angles, like, and canceling them even.
Great fair to catch that single needle whiff punish. It's so hard to time, but HKP was so ready for it too. Does still have the air dodge here. Does get back to the stage, gets the roll, the shine out of hit stun. Is going to catch Lucius, waiting just a second too long. That's 51% for it.
And just
great.
And it's almost like it was all of this massive like shift in momentum off of a bad punish from Lucius.
Absolutely.
Like, read a roll back onto, read a ledge dash back onto stage, and just punished with a forward tilt. And a great tech as well from HKP, continuing to make Lucius work for every little inch of his survival.
Great air dodge too, but that fair, great option coverage from Lucius, right? You saw HKP reel back a little bit, thought he made it back to stage, but both these players bringing each other to the absolute limits just to get back and just to close out their stocks.
Shout out to the change up on DI from HKP time and time again. DIing up and away in order to try and avoid some like follow-ups.
Oh, the triangle dash.
Just in the same way to avoid DI down and teching in order to avoid some like dash and high follow-ups. Like, it's been so good with the change up.
Yeah, this has been a huge kind of momentum shift for Lucius, but this edge guard could just take the stock away. Bubble all the way out there. So hard. Yeah, can't get back to it. Even if he DI'd to it, would have been real difficult to not just fly into that blast zone.
Yeah, good disruption again on HKP. Awareness, like central awareness. You see the bubble, hit the bubble while also trying to play, keep away and keep out on the part of this frog. This could be stock here, and it is.
It is, yeah. I feel like I've never seen HKP do the same recovery twice, and I feel like
that's so good.
That's
an amazing thing to say.
Yeah, the amount of pressure that is putting on Lucius to adapt and react has to take its toll. Gets the jump back from that down B, but does get the bubble. What a great read. Let's see if he can close it out this time. Brings him down. Goes for the dagger. Such good bubble usage. Bringing him down with the fair after getting just enough percent. Watching the bubble float away, just walking next to him into Dacus range. The moment it ends, no escape.
All of that benefiting off of just like all of that needle chipping that Lucius was doing earlier, but not actually committing to any sort of tongue lashing to just to save it for those final moments. Like, bubble had always been a defensive tool. Finally, Lucius springs it as an offensive one and springs a massive comeback. HKP going right back, acknowledging that it was a great mix-up and nothing wrong with the stage or his gameplay. Just got to be a little bit cleaner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man, Lucius. He's hunting.
He is, and this is, I feel like, one of the fastest leads we've seen Lucius get so far in the set, right off the bat. But even still, edge guards have been a brutal spot for both of these two. If one person is getting needles on them, the other one's getting fire. Both are going to result in a lot.
The Lucius with the rundown. No wave dash, just like, I am running at you.
Yeah.
Hey, always got to be a little scary here. All these back airs are great, but they're just kind of setting up for these type of situations. And again, the great mix-up going high to that top platform is HKP, surviving at 166. And if you're forcing Rano just to basically bear until you die, like that's a pretty good game state to be in, especially if you can find this reversal, but it's
both of them going for a little bit of a read on the tech chase and then into the parry. Lucius going to come out on top, the fastest Shine Fair I ever did see. And right now we're down to 2 stocks apiece.
Again, just like consider the call and response that these players are going through right now, Schoolie. Just like every time Lucius starts something big, HKP answers in kind. Stock taken.
Oh, the ladders with the bears right now and on fire. Only 60% to boot. Between these two, right, 60% is not.
Sorry, I'm just.
You're good. You're good. I started to process it. These two are just brutal with each other. That I feel like 60% isn't even a lead. Right now, we're probably going to see it back onto HKP. Yup. Right there.
The miss from Lucius, but the recovery as well, and the reading multiple on defensive options repeatedly with Lucius, but not pulling the trigger when he felt like it was a little bit too scrambly.
Waits for the parry, waits for the chase. Lucius is just making HKP respond, and the pressure that's putting out is going to lead to these mistakes. The mistake on the Nair read for the DI, and Lucius has so much to work with. If he can just get back to stage and start an edge guard here, it could be the beginning of the end for HKP right now.
Let's bring it back.
This is the wave lane, but it doesn't end up mattering. In fact,
worked
out beautifully, and that fair, so hard to DI from HKP. Lucius, so much pressure near the end, and you may have seen a couple of missed techs, maybe a couple, maybe not the most optimal punishes, but the composure from Lucius to respond afterwards, to continue the sequence, to not panic as a result, and just keep the string going in the advantage state was all he really needed in the end.
Yeah, it's what we were saying earlier, both you and myself, like the train of thought